Hello, everybody. It's Bob Anderson, and I'm going to do a trading journey update. If you remember the name of this channel, it's called Robert Anderson's Trading Journey. So I might as well do a trading journey update. Update. This was not the video I was going to do today. I was going to do a video regarding the open range break indicator that I'm working on, and while going through the indicator in my mind, I was walking my dogs today on a 5-mile hike, and it all just kind of came together to me, like an epiphany of how I'm in the situation I'm in with my trading journey, and what are some of the things that I'm going to try to do to stay on the right path. Now notice I didn't say get on the right path. I said stay on the right path. Why did I say stay? Because I am on the right path in my mind. And I'm going to discuss that here in a minute. But first thing I want to talk about is my blown PA accounts. I had 10 PA accounts, some of you may know, and they were $50,000 accounts. In January of 2024, which was last month, I blew them up. And this is a bitter topic. I had those accounts with trading activity, live trading activity, for over 60 days. I took draws from them, and of course, obviously 60 days. And I made some pretty good money off these accounts. As a matter of fact, so let's talk about the scenario that caused these accounts to get blown. And I mean, I had to decompress for at least a couple days after this happened for me to really stop and analyze what the hell happened. So back in December of last year, I had accumulated a certain amount of money in these accounts. Sometimes I was trading 5 of them by themselves. Sometimes I was trading, so I wasn't always trading the accounts together. Just to kind of spread my risk out and stuff. So anyways, I had to, in my mind, I'm a CPA. There it is. There's the license right there on the board. And as a CPA, sometimes you can overanalyze things. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, it's December 2023. I'm probably going to make more money. This is the logic going through my head. I'm probably going to make more money next year trading than I did, meaning 2024, than I did in 2023. This is me doing the CPA thing. So on the last day, I think it was even at like 7 o'clock at night, before midnight. I think that was the last day that I could request a draw from Apex for those 10 accounts. I went in and mathematically figured out how much each one of them I wanted out of them, and so that the money could be disseminated to me in 2023 instead of 2024, because I had forethought in my mind between business decisions. I run a big modular home building business, so I was trying to place out revenues. Anyways, just over analyzing. That's what CPAs tend to do. And so I probably got a little aggressive on what I took out, considering the time of the year, because I took the money out. I asked for the request. Of course, Apex, Johnny on the spot. They always pay. I mean, they really do. I've had times where they've paid me days before they even said they were going to. So anyways, I don't remember this time if they paid me the day they told me or what. I don't really remember. What I remember is I took the money, and then I'm sitting there with less than $2,000 drawdown left on my $50,000 accounts. And it's Christmas time and New Year's time, and not much going on. So I was kind of lightly trading here and there and whatnot. And then we get into January, and so I think all the accounts were basically at the same position they were at when I took my last draw, just for conversational purposes. And then sometime in like the second week of January or so, I was sitting, at my computer, and I got into a trade in the NQ, which I really need to shut that instrument off for the rest of my life, to be honest with you. But I got into a trade in the NQ, and I had already had a couple problems where I've talked about before, where I've had to jump into my phone and disconnect me from trades because something happens with Rhythmic, or something happens with my internet, or something like that. So anyways, well, this day was one of those days. I get into a trade, and like my stops and targets are on the chart, but they're not working. There's nothing's being sent. I grab my phone, I get on there, and I cancel the trade. And I'm sitting there, and I'm down, like, by the time the trade canceled, I'm down like $700. So I'm sitting there down like, say, $700 on all 10 accounts. Because instead of trading them separately like I should have, and not put them all together because of the time of year, I was saying to myself, man, I need to start moving these accounts forward. If I'm going to meet my goals for 2024, I need to move these accounts forward. Is anybody seeing where I'm going with this? So instead of trading them separately, instead of being freaking smart, instead of just holding them aside and just saying, forget it, the market's not doing things, I defied one of my rules, which is trying to force something that's not there. So let's jump into what happened. So there I am, down like $700. It all happened in the same day, by the way, what I'm about to say. So then everything seems to be working with my internet or whatever, and yada yada yada. So later on, I see a pattern, I enter a trade, and the trade doesn't work. But instead of getting out of the trade, I see another one of my moving averages kind of coming behind the other one that I traded off of. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just wait till it gets down there. And I added more contracts down there. Okay, I think everybody knows where this is going from here. And by the time that one failed, I'm too far into it. And long story short, all of a sudden, poof, my accounts are blown up. And I'm sitting there going, I cannot believe I just did that. I mean, because I just broke every rule I've ever publicly told myself to have. Yeah. So, yeah. I voided my trading strategy. I voided my mental guards that I've put up for myself. I voided everything. I traded all 10 accounts. I mentally was telling myself I need to move these accounts forward because the market just wasn't doing anything for me in January. And I'm sitting there going, well, I plan on making X in 2024. And I've got to make X in January if I'm going to make X by the end of the year. And that was stupid. Especially knowing that in March and April, I mean, in a normal year, you're going to make double in those months that you would make in January anyways. And so I effed up. So the negatives from the recent trading journey update is that I blew those 10 PA accounts. That's the second 10 PA accounts I've blown all at once. Once was the first time that I blew 10 PA accounts at the same time was not my fault. There was a blind trade on the chart that I didn't know. I didn't know how to, well, it was my fault, but it was a trade copier that I didn't know how to use it. Anyways, that's a long story. Anyways, so the mental side of trading still overshadows my trading skills. And what do I mean by the mental side of trading still overshadows my trading skills? Well, one of the things I learned recently that I did not know was that you can pull up your trading results on Ninja. And you can actually look at your trade performance, just like somebody taught me this in a Discord recently. I had no idea. And you just go into new and then go down to trade performance and click it, and then you can put your dates in there and it'll tell you your trade performance over a specific time. So what does that mean? Even blowing these 10 PA accounts, my last 60 days, I still made $34,000 in my trade performance. So if I made $34,000, even blowing 10 PA accounts, which minus $2,000 on 10 PA accounts is minus 20 grand. So if I hadn't had that one day, I'd be up $54,000 in 2 months. Okay, so the mental side is overshadowing my trading skills. So the nice part now, so let's talk about a couple positives, and then I'm going to talk about where I'm going from here. Okay, positive number one is point two. I was profitable in 2023 trading. I really buckled down. I've said this before on this YouTube channel. I have a tendency to analyze things, which this one kind of cost me a little bit of money, but I have a tendency to analyze things twice a year. Middle of the year, which would be, Christmas time to New Year's, which I took too much money out, put myself in a stressful situation going into 2024, and then had this mental thing that I had to do so much in the first month of 2024. That was a mistake on my behalf. And also the 4th of July, between June 30th and July 4th, I analyzed my situation. And what I did last year in 2023 is I analyzed about the 4th of July that, okay, what I need to do is go back, wait for the market to start moving. And I didn't do all 10 PAs. I did like 5, turn them into PAs. Then I did like 3, turn them into PAs. Then I did like 2, turn them into PAs, whatever, something like that. I did a sequence. I didn't do them all at once, and I just kind of slowly built my confidence in how I was managing the trades, what type of trades I was taking, what instruments I was trading at certain times, blah, 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 blah. So doing all that, the second half of 2023 really turned out well for me. I turned out to be very positive for the year, but the thing is, I didn't start trading. Let me back up for a second. I didn't start trading again to replace my job. I started trading again because, first of all, I like trading, but secondly, I wanted to determine if I still had the skills to trade when I retire, so that I could focus, on some trading and maybe supplement my income when I retire, which is going to be a few years down the road from where I'm at right now. Please don't push me out the door yet. But anyways, that's how I started this trading journey, honestly. So I just wanted to figure out if I needed to go deep in throwing money in 401ks and things like that, Or can I supplement my income, doing something I enjoy, which is trading? And so what did I learn? I learned that I can be profitable, especially with an apex. Why do I say especially with an apex? Because in a dark way, apex saved me a ton of money. When I was doing negative things and I blew up my accounts, what did I lose? I lost 10 PA accounts that I had $140. I had lifetimes on them. So I had $140 invested in each one of them. So that's $1,400. It's not a small amount of money. I get that. But my payouts from that were far in excess of the $1,400. And so what Apex allows or affords, in my opinion, traders that can at least temper their personalities and temper their demeanors and focus long enough, it allows you to actually end up in a positive situation. What does Apex count on? They count on you not being able to do that. Okay, that's what they count on. So to be a winner in Apex, you have to, in my opinion, you have to deal with that more importantly than even the strategy, because the strategy can be the best strategy in the world. But if you don't have this working for you, you will still lose. So one of the things I realized when I went back and did a little trade analysis, this is going to get to the last part of this, and then I'm gonna go. What this trade analysis thing helped me realize was I was able to go in it and break it down by hour of the day and whatnot, what hours of the day I was the most profitable, blah, 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 for like the last 2 months, which, keep in mind, is Christmas, New Year's, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I learned that I lose substantial amount of money right out of the gate. I've talked about this before. I swear to God, my first trade is always a loss. I swear to God. It is amazing. But I start off that between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., I'm in the negative, according to my analysis. According to the analysis, it's between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., I'm losing a significant amount of money. Compared to, whatever. And then from 9 through 10:30 in the morning, I'm pretty profitable. Okay? From 9 to 10:30. And then from 10:30 all the way to 2:30, I'm like every 30 minutes, I'm either up a little or down a little, up a little, down a little. I really don't tend to trade much in that time frame anyways. And then 2:30 p.m. on, I make as much money from 2:30 and 3 o'clock than I do in these times right here. That's the analysis. So, what does that mean? I'm going to tell you what I deem it to mean. I own a business, and first thing in the morning, I deal with contractors. I'm building modular homes all over the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, predominantly North Carolina. And and I got factories that are building the houses, so they work, early mornings, so like I'm very busy predominantly first thing in the morning. And so I equate this not to my trading as much as I'm trading while distracted. And so I've recognized that this is probably not a good situation for me to be trading between, say, 7 and 9 if I'm going to stay distracted. And then why from, say, 9 to 10:30? Well, Partly, partly because I've already put myself in the hole and I got to figure out how to get out. So I'll double down and focus. And contractors are done bothering me by 9 because they're either working by 9 or they're not working that day. Okay, factories are either have their order slips done by 7:30, 8 o'clock every day, or they're not doing them that day. I mean, like everything that I really deal with. And then midday is when I got to deal with my lenders, about certain situations, appraisals, title work for land, lien waivers, things like that I do. Draw requests so I can get my damn money, things like that. And then late in the afternoon, 2:30 to 3, that time, my phone doesn't ring anymore. I mean, it really doesn't. And I can, one of my favorite trades is the 5-minute red line. And while the 5-minute red line becomes a pretty strong trade between the 4 instruments I'm looking at with somebody by the afternoon. In a lot of cases, a rotation for a continuation to the downside, or a rotation for a continuation back to the overnight open or something like that. And if that pattern happens to set up, I take it, and I let it go, and then I just sit there and let it calmly do its thing. So what does that tell me? That tells me that my trade strategy, my trade skills are there. But they're there if I'm focused. And so the real positive thing to me, again, is that when I'm retired and I'm no longer building modular homes, this won't exist anymore right here. Because I won't be dealing with contractors calling me at 7:30 telling me they got to the job site and there's no sand for the concrete or whatever. I don't have to deal with that. And then, because that'll no longer exist. And so I see that. So again, going back to my journey of what the initial thing I even started back to trading doing has left me positive. Now, what other lesson have I learned? Well, the other lesson that I've learned is because the mental side of trading is still a huge struggle for me, that even if I'm retired and I have $50,000 sitting in a brokerage account, it still makes sense for me to trade with an organization like Apex, because if I blow up the account, I don't blow up anything. I lose $1,400. Like in this case, I lose $1,400. I don't lose $14,000. I don't lose $50,000, whatever the number is. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I believe my journey is I'm still learning on my journey, but I believe my journey's going the right direction. And I believe that I'm on the right path, and that all I need to do is, just kind of correct the wheels a little bit on that path, and at minimum, try to make 2024. I shouldn't say this because then I'll screw up again. I said minimum make it as successful as 2023. I shouldn't say that. I need to come up with a different thought, because I don't need to put the pressure of 2023 on me in 2024, because that could get into my mental side, which will cause me to make more mental mistakes. Anyways, that's the update. That's the point of this video. And if any of you can relate to some of this, go ahead and tell me. But I can tell you, the old school traders that are out there, I'm one of those old school traders that used to trade with my own real money. What happened to me there is a blessing compared to what used to happen to me in the old days with my own money. That's a blessing. I'll take a $1,400 loss over a $14,000 loss or anything like that any day of the week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.